Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing on this July? What the hell am I saying? July, not July, sir. Man, 21st, night of Wednesday. All right. How is everyone doing? How are you? Everything is good. I'm assuming yes. You're good in you are in good health and spirits and happiness and blah blah blah, right? Uh, I'm looking forward to the trip to Houston that me and my wife are going to take. Except, well, I shouldn't say except. You know why? Because, well, except. Well, because. Well, you know what? It's the weather. I'm a little concerned, obviously. You're going to the southern tip of Manhattan. Not Manhattan, sorry. You are going to the south of America, and I mean, what do you expect in May? Although it shouldn't be too hot, just like in July or June, maybe. I'm hoping not, but hey, you can just walk around in shorts and t-shirt and your Tivas. Speaking of which, my wife actually, I didn't realize, she ordered me some Birkenstocks. I mean, they're not Birkenstocks, but they look like Birkenstocks. You know, sandals. I'm gonna walk around in those shoes, annoying the people out of their fucking mind down in Houston. All right. The other issue, I mean, it's not an issue, just that we have an early flight, which is actually good. I fucking hate to get to another place at midnight. All right. And especially you're going to a place which you have never been. First time you're going there, you want to just, see the area. Yeah. When it's light out. All right. So you can see the people's faces, what they look like. All right. What the streets look like. And it's not, I mean, what is it? What the difference is going to be? It's going to be like Dallas. Although I never stayed in Dallas, outside Dallas, with a friend of mine, right? For a few days. So yeah, long weekend is coming up, and I was really kind of depressed yesterday, because I spoke to my, excuse me, I'm sorry, not mine, but I spoke to a real estate agent about my apartment here. The HOA situation here is so fucking high. They're jaking it up, the special assessment, and it's just a disaster. So I have a appointment with her tomorrow, and we're gonna explore some options, me and my wife. Because honestly, this is the first time I bought, because this is the only time I could afford in 25 years being here, right? 24 years in America. The first year, obviously, I was poor, and the second year, trying to basically get my foot on the ground, right? I was a student, obviously, but then, yeah, you could say that I also didn't really save money to buy an apartment. I mean, I tried back in 2016, right? It's like 9 years ago. But then, my credit score was not that supreme high, like 780 or above, right? But in any case, so I don't know what my fucking credit score is now, to be honest. I know fucking idea. Regardless, so, I honestly, we were invited, we have been invited, we were being invited to these, these nice people, they are couples and, families, because my wife just came here, right? So we kind of newlywed, and I think I said that last time too. But then, when I see them, living in houses, I'm not saying that I'm trying to basically keep up with the Joneses. But I'm saying is that, I just want to live in a house, man. Don't I deserve that? Don't I deserve that happiness to just not be on top of each other, and walk into a fucking apartment building, you feel like you're walking into a hotel, all right? So, that kind of a thing. And now I can't even fucking sell my apartment, so that's something I gotta figure out. In any case, without getting too, much into details, let's see what happens, what she says. Other than that, I don't want to sound like fucking gloomy and all that, but weather has been gloomy. I'm going to not show, but I'm going to, show how beautiful down there in Houston is, when up here is, I think it's like 50s temperature and it's raining. So this weekend is not that great up here. Make people jealous. Being in the 80 degrees, right? 85, maybe 90, even 100. Holy shit, dude. 100, that sounds like a fucking boiling plate in the sun. You can basically fry your egg, right? Without heating up anything, without needing a stove. All right, so just a brief podcast I want to do, because I want to basically just take it easy and watch whatever the hell we are watching, me and my wife. We finished that show Lost, great show. And it ended up like a weird fucking last, ending. Last episode. But in any case, you guys should watch. That's a fucking old show, really. And then we started watching another fucking old show. It's called The 100. I think I watched like 2 seasons, then I'm like, I don't want to. What are the new fucking shows, sir? Isn't Terry Sheridan actually coming up with another fucking Taylor Sheridan, what the fuck his name is, right? Who came up with, Landsman? Remember Landsman? Landsman and, Yellowstone, and he also made another one, Special Ops one with Zoe Saldana, right? Isn't he making any other new like fucking shows? I don't fucking idea, dude. But what's his name? John Hamm. John Hamm also has a new one, which we have been watching. Neighbors and Friends and Neighbors, right? Whatever. And yeah, that's our fucking boring life. That's my boring life, dude. I mean, I can't give you something, very interesting as to like whatever, right? I just want to keep my life simple, man. I don't want any fucking complications, And simple starts with like simple things like, hey man, do you want to get enough sleep, at least 6.5 hours, 7 hours a night, all right? That just fucks me up, And then I get angry, I get fucking worked up, and, So, I got to basically follow that simple way of life, man. And obviously, I have to make sure that, we're getting paid. So I got to pay the bills. I got to feed the chickens, kids. Me and my wife, I got to live a life. We got to put the bread on the table and the butter, right? And the hassle of being in a place like New York where fucking clients, they don't pay you, They turn the other way when you send them a fucking bill, and then you have to chase them. It's a fucking hassle, dude. It's a fucking hassle. And I think my wife realizes that too. She's probably sick and tired of going after them as well. But then what can you do? I mean, what do you do? Send them to collections where you basically lose like 50% of the money, all right? Isn't that what the collections company do? Right? Oh, we're gonna charge you. We're gonna take 30% of that if you're okay with that, right? In any case, so hoping that we will get more projects, bigger projects, and we grow. Um, I know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sound so fucking boring tonight. I feel like, all right. And I'm kind of tired too. But then what happens is that towards like 11 o'clock, I feel like I'm just ready to go. But I've been trying to get to sleep early, and my wife actually, I see her that she's gonna go to sleep, and then sort of naturally I feel like maybe I should try as well. Huh? Being a lunatic, you never cared when you were living alone, and it's like, yeah, man, I'll go to sleep at some point in time. All right, I'll do my 5 or 6 hours, and then I'll be working late anyway. So who cares, right? That kind of fucking attitude. Uh, what else is going on in this fucking world? Iraq, where we were born, because our parents had sex. All right, and speaking of which, a friend of mine, actually, we are in a group chat, and they were talking about, decline of the population on this planet that's going to basically make us extinct. I said that many times. There's a possibility. There's a real possibility. More of a possibility than a nuclear war or climate change. All right? I mean, that's black and white. All right? 200 years, humans are gone. And what's left? Monkeys. Or maybe robots. Who the fuck knows, dude? So, reproduction is not as simple as it used to be, man. All right? And maybe this is some sort of a decline, and maybe this is what happened in the past for centuries, and this is probably another, repetition of a history, that humans are going down the drain in the history of this planet, right? And then by in 200 years, the chimpanzees are going to actually just learn more like humans did, like thousands of years ago. I don't think so. 200 years is just nothing for these monkeys to actually become humans. No, that's nothing, So I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. I'm not going to be here, so I mean, I shouldn't be worried too much about that. And by that time, I mean, the biggest possibility is that we're going to have machines roaming around on the planet. And so whether humans are still on this planet or not, I think we will have robots by then. Humanoid robots, maybe. Yeah, not exactly humanoid robots. Like Walter or David from that fucking, the Alien movies, remember? Prequels. Or, T-1000 from the fucking Terminator movies, right? But I think some sort of like machines are going to roam around. Or the machines are going to basically take care of themselves and they're going to reproduce. I mean, wasn't there that story in Blade Runner? Oh wait, that's a fucking replica. How can replica give biological birth? So that's the miracle, right? Is that what it is? So I think, yeah, I mean, the machines are going to produce in a factory, all right? And that's how they're going to continue forever. So that's it. That's the end of human civilization. I think that's what it is. What the fuck? Are the machines going to be sentient by that time? I think so. They're going to have feelings. They're going to have emotion. They're going to be crying. They're going to be smiling. They're going to be laughing. They're going to have like fucking stand-up comedy. All right? They're going to be making movies. There will be actors and producers and directors. Fucking, everything that humans used to do. Oh, that'll be interesting. In some other species, some other like biological form or species from other planet, they come here, right? Or somewhere there's one human that actually is still alive, but he or she basically grows up as a real human and then she sees this planet. I think isn't that a movie or many movies they made to that effect? Right? And what's going to happen to that one child, human child? The robots are going to worship him or her as a god. Oh, you are the one who created us, so we got to keep you alive. All right? Or it can go the other way. They're going to hunt him down, like John Connor in Terminator movie, right? So, I don't know. What else? All right, sorry, I just went on another, fictional topic. Maybe I should start writing fiction. This morning I was thinking about that. But I'm just too fucking lazy to write. And I don't have any creative, like, fucking thread. Yeah, I can come up with these stories, right? In future, this was going to happen and blah, blah, blah. But then, okay, what's the storyline, sir? All right? I mean, some people like, what's his name? Philip K. Dick, they were the authors. He came up with these fucking fictional, like, articles and books, and, they made movies from them, right? Or Stephen King. Or J.K. Rowling's. Although she was into goons and goblins and all that, right? Fucking, underworld creatures and all that shit. Like fucking Harry Potter bullshit. I never got into that. I'm glad. I think my wife was heavily into that. Right? Weren't you a Harry Potter fan?
Yeah, I used to watch once.
Harry the Pothead. All right, so NBA. All right, so NBA is happening, everyone. I mean, I'm not into basketball. Actually, a friend of mine actually was texting me. They're watching these playoffs. Now we are in the playoffs. This is like last 2 weeks of playoffs, and then the finals, right? June. And Knicks are actually going ahead. They are already in playoffs. So last Friday, it was a hoopla. Friday is when I go out and, my friends were out there and they were actually, everybody was like, not only them, but everybody was just like Knicks game, and Knicks basically won against Celtics, Boston Celtics. And everybody was jubilating because, that for the first time since 1998, fucking New York Knicks got into playoffs. So it's a big thing for fucking New Yorkers, right? Knicks fans. So everybody is so like hyped up, and then I couldn't find a fucking Uber that night. It became a fucking shit show. And then next day or the day after, my friend was telling me, and I told him that I had to basically have my wife, airlift me that night because there were no fucking Ubers. Then I realized that it's not only because of Knicks game, but NJ Transit workers were on fucking strike. All right? That whole fucking week, which I think ended yesterday or day before. Actually, I think today even. So that's why, the whole fucking train that comes from Penn Station, there are like 4 or 5 trains run every other fucking, 15 minutes. All right? So the whole population of New Jersey is scrambling, to get home that night. I think that's what it was. So in any case, so I had to call my wife and she picked me up from near Zeppelin Hall or whatever the fuck that place was, right? So yeah, that's something on sports, and I did play golf, last Saturday with a friend of mine, and at our beloved Skyway golf course. After 2 years, I think I played there, more than 2 years, and if it's not too hot, I'm gonna play maybe 9 holes down in Houston. Although at the end of the game, I feel like my sciatica is going to somehow resurface. So I gotta be careful, So in any case, I presume you all are having a great middle week. All right. And what are you gonna do? Huh? Memorial Day, you're gonna do barbecue, drink beers with your friends, do burgers and joints and whatever the hell, right? Memorial Day, I think we're gonna just go spend somewhere down there, maybe with some families or something. I think we were coming back on Tuesday, right? Yeah, we gotta plan. We gotta make plans for Memorial Day. We gotta find some family so they can invite us. She has some family down there. I mean, I don't know anybody really, except for a couple of friends. We'll figure out, right? We'll find out. All right, everyone. So, I just don't want to go on and on. And I'll try to do maybe a podcast down from Houston. Maybe we'll go to Galveston. If a storm doesn't hit us, a hurricane doesn't hit us, all right? Maybe we can just drive down to Galveston and, at the beach. Monday, we go to the beach. Although I'm not a beach person. I'm not sure if my wife is. Are you a beach person?
I'm not ready.
No, she's not. We are from mountains, man. We never saw any beaches. All right? So we'll see. All right, everyone. I will see you all next week. Happy Memorial Day.